Welcome to episode 11 of the Route 281 podcast, where we dive into the world of Somerset County and beyond. Today's guest is a senior at the Berlin Brothers Valley High School. She lives on a dairy farm with her family. She is the 7th generation to live there. She is currently the Somerset County Dairy Princess. So we are excited to talk with Jillian Smiley today and learn all about what she does as the Somerset County Dairy Princess and the dairy industry. If you're listening to this podcast on YouTube, please click that like and subscribe button, and we hope you enjoy the episode. Okay, episode 11. Miss Jillian Smiley, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I'm glad you wanted to do it and decided to do it. And actually, this is timely for you because you're just telling me that they're crowning a new princess this weekend.
Yep, at 2 o'clock at the Faith Lutheran Church.
2 o'clock at the Faith Lutheran Church. So do people get to vote, or how does that go down?
So it used to be like a competition, I guess, if you had more than one person running. The year before me, they had 2 girls run, so they had to have like a contest, and they had judges come in. And they weren't from around here, so it wasn't like, what's the word I'm looking for?
The judges weren't from around here?
Yeah. Okay. So they wouldn't
So they're not biased? Yes. Gotcha.
But I didn't have somebody run against me, so I just kind of did my thing, and I just got crowned.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. Well, we're glad that you have been the dairy representative in Somerset County. She is the Somerset County Dairy Princess for the 2024 year, basically?
Yep, to 2025.
To 2025, yeah. So how does one become the Somerset County Dairy Princess?
Okay. You have to be the age 16 to 24, and you have to have a connection to the dairy industry.
Yeah.
And I used to think it was a lot more like you had to live on a dairy farm, and that was it.
Yeah.
But
apparently you can just like cheese.
I met this girl. She's the Bedford County Dairy Princess. She's one of my friends. She worked at an ice cream place called The Cow, and she was able to run.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you can be a relative of a dairy farmer. You can live on a dairy farm, obviously. You can show a dairy cow. Like, there's a lot more ways you can be than I thought.
Right.
So.
Okay, but if, so you can just have some cheese in your fridge and you can run for Dairy Princess. Well, no, we know it's a little bit more involved than that, but, okay. So what made you decide to do it?
Well, my mom was a Dairy Princess
Nice.
back in 2001, I think. And I participated in the Dairy Princess since I was 5, I think. So I've always wanted to be a Dairy Princess, and the time came and I said, Mom, I want to run for Dairy Princess.
Yeah, nice. Okay. And so do you don't have to be in 4-H to do that?
No.
Okay. But you are involved in 4-H, or you were at one point?
I was, but I don't know if I am anymore because I have a lot of college coming up this summer, so I won't be able to do as much.
Yeah,
so.
right. So for listeners who don't know, and most people probably will listen to this podcast, but 4-H is the state-run. They do a lot more than just agriculture, but you can participate at the state level with your 4-H projects. It starts at the county level, and then if you're in 4-H, you can do state shows and stuff like that with your animals and stuff. But I did play with this cord. I did 4-H as a kid, so it was a good experience for me. I grew up in a dairy farm, which you did too, right? Your family still owns and operates their dairy farm?
Yep, I'm the 7th generation.
7th generation?
Yeah.
Wow. You gonna stay farming?
Probably not.
How many siblings do you have?
I just have a little sister, Josie.
Little sister, okay.
Yeah.
And
but my dad and his brothers, my grandma's the manager, kind of, I guess.
Oh, yeah, every manager should be a grandma.
Yeah.
Right? Don't get out of line.
Yeah.
She still uses a wooden spoon, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. So my dad and his brothers, they farm, and my mom, she helps a lot too. She does a lot of the milking.
Yeah, cool.
Everybody kind of has their own job. My
Yeah.
Uncle Joel, he feeds the calves. My Uncle Jeff, he feeds like the moms, like the mama cows, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad, he kind of just helps my mom in the parlor. So
Okay. Yeah. Nice. So it's a family operation.
yeah,
Which is nice. It is a very hard job.
Yeah.
Right.
very 365, 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are at the mercy of those cows.
Yeah.
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 I know. Yeah. Did you enjoy spending time on the farm growing up?
I think I'm very fortunate to be able to, live on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of kids like that used to come to my house when I was little, and they were just like, you were so lucky that you got to grow up on a farm.
Yeah.
And now looking back, I'm glad I did, because I got to have a lot of experiences that a lot of kids don't, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, what kind of experiences do you think that
Well,
you felt lucky to have?
I'm lucky to know where milk actually comes from.
Right.
Like, I went to college Wednesday, and
Mm-hmm.
these girls were asking me about my farm. And, like, I always thought, like, on movies when people, like, have you ever seen, like, those people question city people about what, like, stuff is on
Yes.
a farm?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was, like, always a joke,
Mhm.
but they asked me questions that I was like, are you being for real? I just feel like I am, like, fortunate enough to, like, have got to live on a farm and learn all the stuff that I did and milk cows and drive tractors, Not every kid gets to do that,
Right. It's a good childhood.
Yeah,
Teaches you a lot of things.
yeah.
What do you think are some of the most important things that it's taught you that you'll take with you, whether you stay a farmer or not? What do you think some of those things are that you'll take with you?
Oh, gosh. I would say, like, oh, gosh, I don't even know how to answer this.
That's all right. You just
Hard work and dedication can get you far.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's necessary. You can't. Yeah. It's necessary on a farm. You just can't be lazy.
Yeah.
You just can't say blow off milking one day, right?
Yeah.
Even
Like,
if you're sick.
even if it's cold outside.
Yeah.
Like, one time it was negative 20 degrees.
Yeah.
And we still had to milk, and you just put your hands up in the udder to keep your hands warm.
Yeah, right. Instant hand warmers.
Yeah.
I don't know what the cows feel about that.
I think they like it.
Well, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it makes you tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, it teaches you a work ethic because it's imperative. Like, you have to do it. Like
Yeah.
you said, you just can't blow off a day of work.
I think farmers are very hardworking people, and I feel like they get looked down upon a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Most people have enough food in their pantry for 3 days, I think, is the statistic. And they say that, as a country, most cities where they get their food and stuff like that, you're only 3 meals away from chaos.
Yeah.
But not so much on a farm.
No.
Got enough milk to drink,
Yeah.
beef to eat.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can grow your own crops. It is a self-sustaining occupation, and yeah, they deserve a lot of credit. Incredibly hard workers. Yeah, it does. It's an occupation that will make you tough. Even as a kid, for me growing up on a farm, I would just echo the same things that you said.
Yeah.
A strong work ethic. There's never, it's never a dull moment. There's always something to do. No matter, cows don't stop pooping.
No.
You got to clean it up.
Yeah.
Right. There's never not anything to do between mowing. There's so much that goes into it, and now
Yeah.
is the busy time of the year for farmers. Your parents getting busy?
Pretty much,
Does
yeah.
it get a little crazy at your house around this time of year?
Yeah.
Because not only do the cows need milk, what else needs done?
Well, they're spreading manure right now,
Mm-hmm.
and that takes a lot. They're getting ready to plant, so,
Yeah. So what is your role as the Dairy Princess? Like, what goes into that? What have you had to do over the past year and things like that? What are your obligations?
So I have a list of requirements that I have to meet.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many, like, promotions that you have to do, like adult promotions, like kid promotions, store promotions, like booth promotions, kind of stuff like that. Like the rule of a dairy princess is to promote dairy and only speak the truth about dairy, you know, because there's a lot of like misleading things about dairy, like it makes you fat. I mean, if you eat it a lot, it might.
Well, maybe it depends on what form, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're only at the Dairy Queen.
Yeah,
you know, maybe.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. You know, but it goes beyond ice cream, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't even know how Dairy Queen gets its title as queen, because you would think queen is above the princess.
Yeah. So
right, but they don't even have any other dairy products in there. Last time I checked, there's no cheese or butter. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I always get called the Dairy Queen, but I'm not allowed to be called that, I guess, because it's like there's already a dairy.
Copyrighted, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, shout out to Dairy Queen, I guess. But, but the real Dairy Queen's here. At least in Somerset County.
Yeah.
So what types of promotions and stuff have you had to do?
I've done parades. I've done school promotions. I had to go to Ag Progress Days, which was fun. I got to hand out ribbons at the fair, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My favorite promotion would have to be parades or handing out ribbons, though.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy those.
Yeah. Well, what about handing out ribbons to you was enjoyable?
Well, my sister had a really good heifer, and I gave her a lot. And, like, my mom got this really good picture of us. And I just also like to see the kids' faces when they got the ribbon, you know. When I was little, I always loved getting ribbons.
Yeah.
I don't care what color it was, what place I was. I just wanted a ribbon. Yeah,
it's an achievement for all their hard work. And taking an animal to the fair is a lot of hard work, raising those animals. And my kids do it. So. Yeah.
I remember giving them a lot of ribbons too.
Yeah, well, it's nice because even though we don't live on a dairy farm, the 4-H has a lease program where you can even show somebody else's cow if you're interested.
Yeah.
And which is nice because it extends the opportunity for somebody who doesn't live on a dairy farm.
Yeah.
We used to, but we don't anymore. I could see that being fun. Making some memories with your sister.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so what is there anything beyond the Somerset County level that a dairy princess could pursue? A state dairy princess? Okay, national?
So you go to. There's a lot that goes into it, more than I knew actually, because I always thought Somerset County was the only place with a dairy princess. So I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was like statewide.
Yeah.
So you can go. Like there's a state requirement too. You have to do so many things for like the state. There's 4, I think it is, maybe. There might be more, but you have to go to mini seminar, which is only a day, which was a lot of fun because me and my cousins and my mom all went. And then you have to go to actual seminar, which is somewhere near Harrisburg. And I was very nervous to go. Like, I was crying the day before. I did not want to go. I hate going away from home. But I ended up having so much fun, and I made lifelong friends there. And then that kind of prepares you for the state pageant, and that was in September.
Yeah.
And they have 2 alternates and 1 state dairy princess.
Okay.
So.
Do you know what county the current state dairy princess is from?
No, but I know her name because we were friends. Because she was roommates. You have a roommate when you go to a seminar. And she was roommates with the Bedford County Dairy Princess, which I became close with because I had a Bedford shirt on. And she's like, that's where I'm from. And that was nice to have because I was so scared I wasn't going to make any friends.
Yeah.
So her name's Charlotte Wallace.
Okay.
She's really nice. And I just think she is making a phenomenal state dairy princess.
Great. And but it's not the one from Bedford?
No.
Okay. Cool. So what, having gone through the process, I guess, what advice would you give to somebody who's thinking about running?
I had a lot of issues with comparing myself to past dairy princesses because I feel like I didn't do a lot, but it was also such a busy time for me. My advice would be, don't compare yourself to the past dairy princesses. You are doing just good at what you're doing, you know? Like, don't compare yourself. And don't do it your senior year, because it was very hard with, like, all my senior project stuff.
Yeah.
And just, there was a lot of events that I missed because of my senior year. So don't run your senior year.
Right. And you've even made time to do this podcast, so.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, that's good advice. Yeah. I think that's... Now, like you said, is being at the Somerset County Fair or any county fair a requirement for the Dairy Princess? Or is that part of your promotion?
It's kind of part of my promotion.
Okay.
But, like, Andrea Stoltzfus, who's in charge of it, she does a phenomenal job.
Yeah. Shout out to Andrea.
Yeah.
She's our 4-H leader. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a requirement for county level, I think.
Okay.
I think that's how it works. But I was really excited to do that.
Yeah.
And I wish I could have done it, like, again, because I just really enjoyed handing out ribbons.
Yeah. There's a fair princess too, right?
Fair Queen, yeah.
Fair Queen. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Any turf war at all going on there at all? All right. I don't know.
Yeah. It's, she goes to school with me, so we always, like, talk in the hallway, or I'm like, are you going to this promotion?
Yeah.
And we always just try to see if we're going to be there together, because, you know, we like to stick together.
Yeah, right. Support each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice to have a familiar face when
Yeah.
you're going, you know. Yeah. I mean, congratulations to you, because you put yourself out there and step outside of your comfort zone, which is a piece of advice that I would give any young person. Like, you don't know what your limits are until you push them a little bit, especially, you know, whether it's your being comfortable. Being comfortable isn't always good.
Yeah.
It's nice and cozy here at home, but you know what? There is a great big world out there, and you know, push those limits so that you know what they are. Step outside of your comfort zone, and don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Because you learn a lot when you stumble a little bit. So
Yeah. Builds character.
That's how you grow. Exactly, builds character. Yeah, great point. So, how would you? I mean, we talked a little bit about growing up on the farm. You know, how would you describe your childhood here in Somerset County?
I just love it here.
Yeah.
I would describe it like, I don't even know, like a kid walking into a candy store.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it like that, but I just feel like it was just so joyful to grow up on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was something always going on, and I just loved it.
Yeah.
I want my kids to have the experiences that I did.
Yeah. Cool. You ever delivered a calf?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that like?
It's so, like...
Slimy?
Yeah. It's, like, so, like, different, you know? It's like something you tell your friends you did, and they're like, what are you talking about? That's gross.
Right.
But that was, like, another thing. When my friends came over, like, they'd always want to deliver a calf.
Mm-hmm.
I had this one friend that, like, begged and begged and begged to deliver a calf. But I'm just, like, so fortunate that I got to have those experiences, because not everybody gets to just deliver a calf, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm. You learn a lot about life on a farm. Life and death.
Yeah.
There's death on a farm. It's something that you have to deal with. So, I mean, it's good for a kid. They become well-rounded.
Yeah.
And, like, through hard work and experiencing those things. And there's no... it's not a real ideology on a farm, because hard work has to happen.
Yeah.
And in order for cows to reproduce, life has to happen.
Yeah.
And the way that happens.
Yeah.
So they're, I think that farm kids are very well-rounded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and here, I mean, Somerset County is obviously a beautiful place, and growing up here, you can tend to take it for granted.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way when when you step outside of Somerset County, you come home, wherever that may be?
Yeah.
You feel like you have an appreciation?
100%. I went to Maryland, like, a couple of days ago to go to college and, like, look around. And it just made me miss home. I just hate to be away from home. Like, I love Somerset County. It's just, it feels safe, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I love it here.
Yeah. So you have plans for after, you're a senior at Berlin?
Berlin, yep.
Okay, cool. And do you have plans for when you graduate?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to be a dental hygienist, and I'm planning on going to ACM
Okay.
It's like 45 minutes from my house.
I went to ACM.
You did?
Yeah.
Really?
First semester.
What'd you go for?
Criminal justice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then I realized I did not want to be a police officer. I love what our police officers do for us.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me, and
a lot of respect for those people.
Yeah, for sure. Now sitting here looking back, I think would have been cool. I think I'm more interested in things like the FBI and the military and stuff like that. But yeah, Somerset had a campus at that time.
Really?
Yeah, Allegheny College, Maryland, Somerset campus. So I was only ever had to go to where you're going for like one class.
Oh,
maybe.
okay.
But everything else was at the Somerset campus.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to just drive to Bedford every day, or not Bedford. They have a campus in Bedford.
Yeah.
That's why I thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to drive to Maryland every day.
To be down hygienist. Good for you. What made you decide to want to do that?
I originally wanted to be a nurse.
Okay.
And my cousin, who's actually going to be the next Dairy Princess, she was talking about being a dental assistant, and that made me think about that career. And I actually shadowed somebody who's a dental hygienist, and I loved it. It was just like so fun. Like, I don't know why I like it, because my mom's like, you want to work in people's teeth? And I'm like, Mom, like, nurses do a lot of grosser things than go in people's mouths, So that's kind of what made me think about that. Like 2 weeks before my senior project, I changed my mind from nursing to dental hygiene, and I was freaking out that I'd have to change my whole presentation, but all I did was change the ending slide. So
yeah, that's okay. You're allowed to change your mind.
Yeah, because
you may change it again. You never know.
Yeah, that's what my mom keeps saying. She's like, you might even change your mind again.
Yeah.
But the teacher that is in charge of the senior project, she's like, you probably won't even stick with what you did your slides on, like at the beginning. And I was like, no, I'm gonna be a nurse,
Yeah. I give a lot of credit to young people who know what they want to do and are very like, this is what I've wanted to do my whole childhood.
Yeah.
And I stick with. My wife was like that. She wanted to be a teacher and a stay-at-home mom, and she's doing both. That's what she's always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Me, I still don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's you're allowed to move and change, and life evolves.
Yeah.
So you can evolve with it. As you age and change, your interests change.
Yeah.
Along come husband and kids, or a family, and the career that you had may not fit.
Yeah.
The family, and all of a sudden, for Lindsay and I, we wanted to. We were both working in Pittsburgh, and we wanted to be. We wanted her to be at home with our daughter, and moving back to the family farm was the right thing at that time. And so it was good to come home and do a little tour of duty over at the dairy farm. So
you lived in Pittsburgh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, I could never.
I like that song. I've lived everywhere, man. I lived just outside of D.C. for a little while.
Really?
I went to school for golf course management and worked at a golf course. Went to University of Maryland down there. Left there and finished my golf course management degree at Rutgers University in New Jersey.
So you've lived like everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
See,
I think I moved like 10 times.
I could never.
Yeah.
I hate
10 times in a very
cities.
short period.
I like Somerset County.
Yeah.
Like all these kids that I'm graduating with, they're like, oh, I can't wait to get out of here. And I'm like, how could you leave? I just couldn't,
Yeah. Well, it certainly has given me an appreciation by going away and seeing these places. Lindsay did her student teaching outside of Dallas. That was the year we got engaged, and I did my internship at the same place. I lived there for 6 months. She was there for 9 months.
Oh, wow.
Which is where her brother lives. So, she found me an apartment, and yeah, I mean, it was great. There's so many things at your fingertips.
Yeah.
There's things to do, but they're all they're built things to do.
Yeah.
Well, here we have natural things to do, which there are there too. I'm not saying, but for the majority is around a city.
Yeah.
And it can make you appreciate here, and it's very flat there, which scares me because there's no place to hide anywhere.
I can't drive in the city. I hate the tall buildings all around you. Like, there's no trees.
Right.
No trees nowhere.
Yeah, and growing up the way we did,
Yeah.
yeah, you're like, ooh, this is eerie to me.
Yeah.
You know? And somebody growing up out here, or coming out here that grew up in the city, might feel the opposite.
Yeah.
Some people just feel at home in the city and love it. You know, to each their own, I guess. So your plans after high school, we talked about that. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years, oh gosh.
10 years. I was going to go 5, but you're just finishing up college at that point probably, or
oh gosh, 10 years.
10 years makes you think a little bit.
I can't even think about the next 3 years for college. I'm hoping to be a dental hygienist. I want to have a family, of course. Oh gosh, I don't know how to answer that.
Well, that's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to have a family?
Yeah.
Good.
Marry Steven, probably.
Marry Steven?
Yeah.
Do the dairy people know you're dating a beef farmer?
Everybody at church likes to make fun of Steven for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Those are two worlds that should mesh.
Yeah.
Beef cows give milk too, just not the way dairy cows do, right?
Yeah.
They're beef cows for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Bill and I talked about that on episode 1 a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you. I think those are good goals.
Yeah.
You think you'll live here in Somerset County?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Rockwood, PA, here I come.
Yeah, right. What do you think your generation, which is Gen Z, I looked it up, right? Because I can't keep them straight. I don't even know what generation I am. I think I'm a millennial, but I don't put a lot of weight on all that stuff because everybody's an individual. But
yeah,
what do you think that your generation represents? Like, growing up with your friends and things
honestly,
like that.
All I hear about Gen Z is they're lazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like on Facebook, you've never seen like people call Gen Z lazy?
I honestly just listened to a podcast with Dave Ramsey, and he was saying about how Gen Z is some of his favorite generation. But he said he did mention the two extremes. You've either got the entitled, lazy, or you've got the motivated and taking life by the horns.
Yeah.
So maybe that's, there's contrasting things. But I think that's with any generation, honestly. Yeah. I do.
Like, I feel like I always see that. I don't know why. I just always see people, like, hating on Gen Z and calling them lazy. But I know a lot of kids my age that are working, like, 3 jobs. Like, there is some kids that don't have jobs and rely on their parents. But I think that my generation is somewhat motivated,
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know a ton of young people your age, but the ones that I do know and the ones that I've come in contact with do seem that way, especially in this area.
Yeah, definitely in this area. I can see why they would maybe say that about kids from the city or further away, but I think Somerset County is just a great place to grow up.
Yeah.
I feel like living on a dairy farm has taught me a lot of responsibility and hard work, and I'm really appreciative of that.
Yeah, nothing comes without working for it. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How did you like going to school at Berlin?
I really do like it because I couldn't go to a big school. Like, I like the size of my school. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's just like perfect, And I feel like it's perfect, the teachers are all there to help you, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without some of the teachers there,
Really?
Yeah.
They got good sporting programs over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have coming on the podcast pretty soon the basketball coach, Rachel Prosser.
Really?
Yeah. So
she's really nice.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to meet her and just talk about how, kind of what she's done with the basketball program and the success that they've had. And yeah, I don't know. There's from the outside looking in, I don't, I'm not real close to the Berlin community, but this podcast is kind of, mainly highlighting Somerset County, and obviously they're a part of it.
Yeah.
But from the outside looking in, it's like there's something special.
Yeah.
In the town of Berlin. It seems to be a big emphasis on community.
Yeah, 100%.
Really? You've seen that?
Oh, yeah.
In what ways do you think?
Like, anytime I went to, like, a sports event,
Mm-hmm.
like, there's so many people there just to support the kids,
Yeah.
And I talked to somebody from Rockwood, and she said that you could tell somebody to come to, like, a basketball game for $100 and they wouldn't come.
Yeah.
She said that Berlin is just so supportive of their kids, and she just thinks it's a wonderful place.
Yeah.
Like, they're always there. Like, it's a community, and they all work together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah.
You can see it. Just not being from there.
Yeah.
You can see it. I had a nephew that played football there. But yeah, you can tell. And so what is, you probably get asked this all the time, but what's your favorite dairy product?
I really like whole milk.
Whole milk?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not really a difference between skim or low fat or whatever.
Mm-hmm. 2% or...
Yeah. I always get them so mixed up.
Yeah.
It's just, I just like whole milk better because it has the full taste, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There's a big difference. If you buy a gallon of milk off the shelf, and obviously it's pasteurized so that it lasts longer.
Yeah.
But there is a taste difference when you get it right out of the tank.
Yeah.
At the farm.
Yeah, but I
Do you hear that? Everybody heard that. That's Polly, the miniature donkey
okay.
in the backyard.
I just think that
feed her.
Yeah, I just think that there's definitely like a difference. Like, it's all the same nutrients, but it just has that richer taste, you know?
Somebody's looking for a healthy dairy product. What's the best way to eat dairy in a healthy? Because people are health conscious these days. So what's the best way to eat dairy in a health conscious way?
I always recommend to eat 3 servings of dairy a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's recommended. So maybe for breakfast you could have a glass of milk, and for lunch you could incorporate like cheese in your diet maybe.
Mm-hmm. I love cheese.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite.
What's your favorite kind of cheese?
Oh. String. No, I'm just kidding. I do like string cheese. And I could, my kids, they put them in their lunchbox, but I always throw them in mine. But no, I like aged, dry, like really, I don't know, like, I don't know what.
You want me to tell you mine? That might help.
I like
you.
Sharp cheese.
Yeah,
like really sharp cheeses.
Good. I really like pepper jack
Oh
cheese.
yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, pepper jack. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I like all hot peppers and stuff like that. So yeah.
You should try Van Grau's cheese. Have you ever had that?
I don't think, at least not that I know of. I may have. But
It's like really good.
yeah.
Like, they have this like pepperoni cheese, I think it is.
Oh.
It's really good.
Yeah,
If you
I would
like
love that.
pepperoni.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
We were at the Maple Fest in Myersdale, and on our way out, there was somebody there selling cheese, and we walked by. We weren't even going to stop. Wasn't on our radar because we were at the Maple Fest,
Yeah.
And they're like, you want to try the best cheese you've ever had? And like, my ears perked up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So they had some great samples. We ended up buying it, but it was really good.
Yeah.
And where they're from.
I really like cheese too.
Yeah. So that's probably one of my favorite. And ice cream, of course.
Yeah, and then you can finish off your day by some ice cream.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
A little treat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Berlin got some good ice cream over there.
Yeah. Have you ever tried the Lazy Lizard?
No, I haven't, but I've heard good things.
I'm planning on going there tonight.
Oh, nice. You'll have to text me and let me know how it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard good things. And they do frozen yogurt or ice cream or all the above?
I think they do both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not sure when the ice cream stations opening up, but I get asked that question a lot by these Rockwood people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's good ice cream around here.
Like, people travel far just to go there.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
But
yeah, ice cream station in Berlin. Got Lazy Lizard over there in Berlin.
we're just giving all these shout outs.
Yeah, who else? Lulu's, Zindu Center. There's no shortage of places to stop for ice cream.
Yeah.
All recommended by the Dairy Princess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, great. Yeah, my kids drink a lot of milk. But yeah, I usually eat it in cheese form.
Yeah.
I don't drink a ton of milk. I put a little bit in my protein shake.
Yeah.
But Yeah, we go through it.
Yeah.
So what do you think is special about Somerset County?
It's the land of milk and maple.
Land of milk and maple.
Yeah.
That it is, yeah.
I don't even know how to answer that. Like, there's so many, like, good things about it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I think, obviously, well, you know this, but I would say the hardworking people that live here.
There's a lot of dedicated people here.
And I think when you work hard, you have an appreciation for not only the work, but the people that you work for or that you provide for. And I think when you're a farmer, you have an appreciation for the land.
Yeah.
You know, and
absolutely.
you tend to take care of it, and you understand it, and because it takes care of you.
Yeah.
You're a farmer. You're kind of at the mercy of the land.
Yeah.
And you're a Christian. We go to church together.
Yeah.
Are your family Christian?
Yep.
Cool. And I think that for me, just even growing up on a farm has shaped my worldview.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't know the church, which I was fortunate enough to know growing up, I think you would appreciate God's creation.
Absolutely.
Being a farmer.
Yeah, I appreciate everything. Like, have you ever looked at something and just think it's just it's so great that God thought we needed this, you know?
Yeah.
I just think that it's crazy how, like, God put thought into so many things, you know? Like, at the Maple tour, I think maybe you said it. Or, no, it was the pastor. He said, isn't it great that God saw these trees and he made it so that we could tap them to get maple syrup?
Yes.
And it just made me think, it was like a new perspective of life, you know? Like, we take a lot of things for granted, but God put a lot of thought into things, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and things that are for our enjoyment.
Yeah.
You know, and you see that on a farm a lot.
Yeah.
You put that seed in the ground. Well, you need God to make it grow.
Yeah.
You need the right weather. You need the right things in the soil, and
Got to pray for rain.
Pray for rain,
especially around here.
Yeah, last year was rough.
Yeah.
You know,
really bad.
So
every church service they were saying pray for rain.
Right. Yeah, I think that obviously, we live here, and having been somewhere else, and now being here with a family, it's a great place to raise a family.
Yeah.
So many good people here that do selfless things, so
it's a good community.
It's a very, very good community. So anything else that you would like to say to the listeners?
Oh gosh, get 3 servings of dairy a day, of course.
Okay.
And always be appreciative of the farmers, because they do a lot for everybody.
Yeah.
Without a farmer, you wouldn't have food on your table.
Right. Amen. I would echo that. One thing I'll ask you is, what do you think is the best, for somebody who really hasn't been able to get onto a dairy farm, or maybe doesn't, not all these listeners will have access. What's the best way for them to get a little bit of experience on a farm, or to get go see some cows, or maybe warm their hands in an udder or something like that? Pull a calf, make cheese. Where can people go and do that, you think?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Like, I know some people have, like, farms that people can go tour.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty sure Van Grouse, like, you can go and see how cheese is made there.
Okay.
Which is where I told you that cheese was from.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm pretty sure they do tours there.
Okay.
I'm not sure 100% if that's true, but I feel like they give tours, and, like, you can see how the cheese is made. And it's honestly cool because I got to see it.
Yeah.
I don't
Maybe
even
the
know.
county fair.
Yeah, the fairs are a good one, and like farm show. Ag Progress Days is a big one. Like, you can go see the farm equipment. There's sometimes animals there.
Mm-hmm.
The Dairy Princesses are always there, and you can like ask them questions about farms. They give out, like, they hand out stuff, which teaches you a little bit about farming and, you know.
Yeah. So if you haven't been to one of those places, you can check that out and maybe find a place where you can get some hands-on experience.
Yeah.
It good helps hard to come by. If somebody's interested in working on a farm,
Farms
just
are
drive
always
up and
looking for
talk to a
help.
farmer.
Yeah, farms are always looking for help, I feel
Yeah,
like.
right. That's right.
You just have to be dedicated and want to work hard.
Willing to get up early.
Yeah.
Right? Dairy farmers get up early in the morning, don't they?
I have a hard time getting up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the hardest part. It was fun when you're little. You know, when you're little, I don't know. When I was little, I was like, Dad, get me up. Because they milked it like 3 and 3.
Yeah, that's how we are. I used to be like that, too. I used to be like, Mom, please get me up.
Yeah.
And then I would find a square bed to sleep on.
Yes. Yeah. I would sleep in front of the compressor that cooled the milk. Because
Yeah.
it would blow warm air. Oh,
Yeah.
I'd curl up in front of that compressor and take a nap. Then as I got older and my dad relied on me a little bit more to help,
Yeah.
I would get, a little nudge. Hey, get up.
Yeah, she'd always turn the light on to get me up, but I just have a hard time getting up now, but I really respect my mom because she does a lot for the farm, and I feel like she doesn't get, I don't even know how to explain this. Like, I just feel like she does a lot, and I just respect her so much for all she does because she does a lot for the farm.
Yeah, well, I think maybe the stereotype is that it's a guy out there doing it, and it probably is a lot of times, but yeah, there's tons of women in farming.
Yeah.
And I know Dr. Bill Krauscher touches on that in his book.
Yeah.
The Majestic Cow. He does give credit to the lady farmers in there and does a good job of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, yep, all you maids of milking out there.
Yeah.
There's a reason that it's called 8 Maids of Milking, right?
I guess.
There are lady dairy farmers.
Yeah.
Good job. Keep up the hard work. We're grateful. Thankful for all those dairy products that we have readily available here in our area. And, get out, meet a farmer, meet a dairy princess.
Yeah.
Get to
They're
a
all
fair.
over the state.
Yeah, all over the state. Yeah, Pennsylvania is huge for dairy.
Yeah.
So and
agriculture. I feel like we're just like a really good state to.
Yeah.
We have such a good FFA too.
Yeah. Yeah, getting the FFA in school.
Yeah, that's another way you can get connected is FFA, 4-H.
Mm-hmm.
You can even do it through Dairy Princess too, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Just have to have a little ice cream in your freezer.
Yeah. You gonna let your daughter be a Dairy Princess?
If it's something that they wanted to do, I would absolutely let them. Yeah.
It's a great
they love
experience.
showing cows. They
Yeah.
love the animal part
Yeah.
of it. They love animals, period, and they just showing.
Yeah.
They
My
will
sister's
sleep with
the
those
same
cows
way.
during the day at the fair and the stalls and just lay on their back. They spend a lot of time.
Yeah, my sister's at a show right now, so she's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's crazy about showing.
Yeah. We've
gone to Wisconsin, Harrisburg, been all over.
Yeah, that's a whole another aspect.
Yeah.
People take that very seriously.
Yeah.
There's a lot of travel involved, and it's really for, obviously, I guess it has benefits to the herd if an animal does well, and you can kind of showcase your herd, and I guess that's really the goal behind it for people who have a family farm.
When I was in Wisconsin, my mom warned me because there was these camera crews going around acting like they were asking questions, and they were twisting what you said to make the dairy industry look bad. So she warned me not to say anything, but there was a lot of people there to look at the cows and watch us show.
Mm-hmm.
The place you show in is like this big, it's like a hockey center.
Yes.
But they put some floor down, and this was really cool to me. They have different colored sawdust every year.
Mm-hmm.
And when we went, it was green because it was representing chemistry. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, that is neat.
Yeah.
Some of these cows are treated like a princess, right?
Yeah.
Put the sash and crown on them, and they'd be happy to. Yeah. Some of them are princesses and divas, and cows have all different kind of attitudes and personalities, and it is neat.
Yeah. Some get moody though.
Yeah, they're fun to work with. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, all right, Jillian, I think you did a great job.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I hope I did good.
You did a great job, and thanks for being out promoting the farmers and the dairy industry. Obviously, there's a lot in our area, and I'm sure they're very appreciative of you.
I try.
Yeah, good job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.